Hey everyone, Cam315 back here with another video. Basically, what I'm gonna do with this video is it's a TV show review, and it's about a TV show that honestly doesn't real, if not at all, really, I've seen get a lot of talk about because it's a pretty fairly old TV show, and it's the Bernie Mac show. Um, I wanted to do a review on the show because one, it's actually a pretty good show. It's a really good sitcom TV show that I found interesting and found funny. And I remember I watched it as a little kid and I thought it was funny. But after that, I never saw it. And then all of a sudden, I came across Netflix one time and I saw the show and I was like, oh, the Bernie Mac show is on Netflix. So I watched all the episodes and I was like, this is so much more funny now that I understand certain things because this show is catered to adults and stuff like that. And me watching as basically a little kid a few episodes, I didn't understand a majority of some of the things that were come across. But now when I look at it, it's basically more catered to the fact that I'm an adult now. Well, not really an adult, but I understand these key meanings of like the adult life. So basically, yeah. The Bernie Mac show. First things first, I gotta say, rest in peace, Bernie Mac. It's crazy. This is one of the I thought very one of the works he did that was a pretty successful thing, and it's crazy to believe that um, it's just like it's already 2019 and he passed away a long time ago. When I was looking for the thumbnail of this video, which is just going to be a picture of one of the of one of like I think the season boxes or something like that. See the wallpaper for it. I was scrolling through Google. I was scrolling, and then I actually found what is it? Or I saw an image that the original cast of the Bernie Mac show actually do a reunion sometime last year, and it was crazy to see because it was like, dang, they've really come far and stuff like that, and it's just shocking that how can I say um, it's just shocking from the standpoint of the fact that the original actors actually had a reunion, and the only person that's missing is Bernie Mac. And it's, hate to say it, but it's a shame, and it sucks that he's not here. But yeah, but if you weren't familiar with Bernie Mac was one of the various and one of the best comedians at the time around when he was still alive, and he was in other movies and stuff like that, and while being alongside this of his main TV show, and it was, and I personally say give this show a watch because this show actually has some key life lessons and some very adultish terms even some adults can possibly get off of. And I thought watching it was a good show, and I say it's one of those sitcoms that can hold up today that you could probably watch maybe 5 years from now and still get a laugh out of it because some of the elements are just funny. And it's crazy to look back at certain things from basically that era, which was the 2000 era, and basically look at today and stuff like that and see how things really changed from then to there, like especially when it comes to technology and all that other stuff. Like this show was like flip phones and stuff like that, and yeah, it's just I think it's one of the better American sitcoms, and also I feel like this show in a way paved the way for the show Blackish in a way. If you know Blackish, which is on ABC and stuff like that, I feel like Blackish actually takes some elements from the Bernie Mac show, because with the Bernie Mac show and Blackish compared, um, it's basically the main character takes care of his family and learns life lessons along the way, while there's also life lessons not only towards his kids, but life lessons that the audience can really take and with a grain of salt and be like, I never thought about that and stuff like that. And I took and I if, when the more when I started watching Blackish, I'm like, it took some elements of the Bernie Mac show and put it into this show, um, and stuff like that. The only difference with the Blackish and the Bernie Mac show, I feel like the Blackish really focuses more on, like, I could say, the black community aspect of it, and, like, certain things and stuff like that. But yeah. So, and the crazy thing is Anthony Anderson, who was in the Bernie Mac show in, like, the final season for a few episodes, he's basically the star of his show Blackish, and I found that quite, I guess, a little funny about the fact that he was in the Bernie Mac show, and I guess in a way it kind of paved the way where I guess he took some elements from that show, what Bernie was doing, to make it basically his own show and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get into this show's reviews, what I thought about it, certain elements. I'm not gonna get into, like, really all the seasons and all the episode reviews and stuff like that. I'm just gonna give a general review of the overview of the show and what I thought about it, and talk about some of my favorite episodes that I came across and watched. So, anyways, some general background. The Bernie Mac show, which I actually pulled up on my phone. The Bernie Mac show, its first episode aired November 14th, 2001, which, that is a long, long time ago. And when you think about it, we're only 2 years away from 2021, which is literally 20 years from when this show first aired. And the final episode that this show made was April 14th, 2006. So the show ran for about 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, for basically 6 years, which is a big enough show as it is. And it's crazy that it ran that long for that amount of time. So the Bernie Mac show, what is it? It has 5 seasons, with a total of five seasons with a total of Let me add this up real quick. It's good because I'm literally doing this on the fly and stuff like that. So 22 plus 22 plus 16. So so 5 seasons of 82 episodes basically, and that's pretty good for an amount of episode runs and stuff like that. So basically, in essence, if you wanted to check the show out, it used to be on Netflix, but now it moved over to Hulu now. And because I remember when the show was taken off Netflix, I was like, damn, I really wanted that show to stay on Netflix because it's a really good show. And the reason why it was taken off Netflix is probably just didn't get a lot of views. But now they moved it over to Hulu, which I found out thanks to my sister. And yeah, so I found that and I was like, okay. Let's, do this or something like that and stuff like that. And I just rewatched it and I had a good time rewatching all of the shows or episodes. Well, not all the episodes, but some of my favorite episodes. Because there are some episodes that I don't really like and stuff like that. But I usually watch my favorite episodes when I usually rewatch the entire series. And it's just crazy. I was happy it's on Hulu. So If you haven't seen it, I suggest you see it. It's on Hulu, so if you have a Hulu account, I check it out and type in the Bernie Mac show and watch the episodes because it's a really good show in my opinion. Um, if you watch it and you go through all the seasons or the first few couple of episodes and you're like, I'm not digging the show, that's all be it. That's all. That's your taste. So, other than that, basically, the Bernie Mac show, basically revolves around basically Bernie, and it's one of those, it's not real life shows, but it takes like real life elements and stuff like that, but it's not like where the other characters other than Bernie have their exact names. But basically, the summary of this show, in essence, is basically Bernie Mac, along with his wife Wanda, played by Kalita Smith, basically take in Bernie Mac's sister's 3 kids because his sister, who lives in Chicago, she is basically been like what you might say a drug addict, and she's basically in a rehabilitation center to basically get off the drugs and stuff like that. So Bernie basically comes in and basically takes care, or basically really takes in his sister's kids and takes care of them while preparing them for their lives ahead in the future and stuff like that, while understanding how to be a parent, as well as dealing with basically the what you might say the troubles and the problems of basically raising three kids and basically a teenager. And it's basically it's really basically the moral of the story, and it's just basically Bernie Mac and his wife Wanda basically learning and through each episode step by step of what it's like to raise kids in their household, and take care of them, while also with the kids learning valuable lessons that Bernie or Wanda teaches them throughout basically the episodes in this. So I'm gonna get to the cast. I'm not gonna go too much into like the other cast members, but I'm just gonna list the main cast, which is basically the family of Bernie Mac, which Bernie Mac, played by, obviously, aka Bernie Mac. Like I said, his wife Wanda is played by Kalita Smith. Jordan, who is Bernie's nephew, is played by Jeremy Suarez. Brianna is played by Dee Dee Davis, and then Vanessa is played by Camille Winbush. When it comes to the performances of the show, I had really no problems with the performances of any character. Each character was believable. Like, for example, Dee Dee Davis's character plays basically a little girl, and you basically see her as a little girl from when the show first starts to basically a preteen in a way, and you go through the struggles of her maturing and how much of a drama queen she can be and stuff like that. Jordan, which I thought of all the kids was the funniest one, because he caused the most trouble out of the 3 kids and stuff like that. And I just thought Jeremy Suarez's performance as Jordan was phenomenal. I loved it every time there was an episode that was focused around Jordan. I liked it because it made me literally laugh my butt off because of it. And then Camille Winbush playing as Vanessa, playing as the really bratty teen that really keeps to herself and wants to do her own things, while Bernie has to keep her in check so she doesn't do things that are stupid, and she becomes the basic. And her character is basically basically in an essence, basically And in essence, you can say the other two are in the antagonist to Bernie, but really I thought Camille Winbush's character Vanessa was really the antagonist for Bernie because her character always went against what Bernie typically wanted and stuff like that. But I do like the aspect of how even though they were fighting, there was some genuine moments where they actually, put aside their issues between one another, and they were just family and stuff like that. And that was really the whole aspect of the show, of basically, you're gonna have problems raising your kids. You're gonna have disagreements with your raising kids because they're gonna see things differently than how you see them. But when it comes to the whole slice of life family element, that's what makes this show a lot, because I feel like one of the reasons why I like this show is because not only Bernie's learning the lesson how to raise these kids and learning lessons how to be a better parent, the kids also learn as well, learning more things of what it's like to grow up. Like one of the episodes, I forgot if it was in season 4 or season 5, but one of the episodes, it had it where Brianna walked in on Bernie while he was about to take a shower and saw him naked. And throughout that episode, it was basically about having privacy to yourself, and the episode revolved around basically the privacy of the boys and girls and how it should be, and the fact that Brianna was basically in the same room, was rooming with Jordan for basically almost literally majority of her life. So it was funny because there was one line in that episode where Bernie's like, you can't just knock and be courteous and stuff like that. And basically Brianna's like, oh yeah, I see Jordan's, dingling all the time. And it made it where now she's got to get her own room and stuff like that. And so when she has to really get her own room, it makes Jordan, because he's so attached to his younger sister, always sleeping in the same room as his younger sister, it makes it where, he starts sleeping like next to her all the time, and trying to, because it was the whole element of, he finally has his own room, but he's scared to be in his own room by himself. And it was basically a little grown up lesson where it's like Jordan grows up, because, and even Bernie says, like, it's one of the things that make you start to learn, like, say you're growing up, that you have your own room and stuff like that, and you're sleeping by yourself instead of maybe other younger siblings and stuff like that. And it's those dynamics and stuff like that that I really like the show. So yeah, there's not really much to talk about other than really some of my favorite episodes. I guess I could go more into some performances as well. I would say really, I liked Kalita Smith's in playing her role as the wife to Bernie Mac. I thought it was a cool little role she was given, because in essence sometimes she helped Bernie while learning alongside herself, and even then she had some of her own focus centered episodes and stuff like that. Like in, I think it was season 3 or season 2, she actually quit her job because she felt like this one person was basically getting a raise over her when she feels like she's worked a lot longer than that person that she basically was working with. And basically the episode centered around her and Bernie of basically living together without wanting to go into a job, and Bernie also feels like, she's taking too much of his things away, and it's not like most things. And he goes on the show with what's her face, Ellen DeGeneres, basically talks about all the old fun times he had with Wanda, and it was cool because I like the fact that even the wife of Bernie Mac in the show got some some key episodes to herself, which focused around herself. Like another episode I was recently watching focused around her basically having a belt, basically trying to get the kids into shape because, Wish, she's got a belt now. Now you can't even hit your kids with a belt because, we're in a different day and age. But back then, you could do stuff like that. But I liked how the whole centered episode was centered around her and basically threatening all the kids, basically like, I'm gonna whip you with this belt if you know you don't get yourselves in check. And I liked the last part of that episode where she was teaching Jordan how to golf, but Jordan basically misses the net he was supposed to golf into and hits Bernie Mac's new TV he got, and basically she basically like blames Jordan for that, which even though it was Jordan's fault, they tried. You'd think she would like at least be like, no, it was Jordan's, like it was my fault and stuff like that. I'm sorry and stuff like that. But no, she literally just called Jordan out, and then it was funny because Bernie was like, give me the belt, and then he. It's just funny. The comedy in the show is really good. Now to you guys, some scenes or lines might not work with you. Me, it don't matter. If I see comedy, I just laugh. That's personally me. I laugh at almost anything, which, even if it is a bad joke, I'll still laugh at it. And the comedy I thought was funny to say the least. Arguably the best character, I think, next to Jordan, in my opinion, was if not the star of the show, Bernie Mac. And it's funny because in his portrayal of his own character, basically it's like it's already the main man. He's already a made man. He's a made comedian. The one thing is we didn't see many of those comedic moments, mostly because it's just a slice of life about him, watching over his sister's kids and stuff like that. And basically, I like the aspect where, during the episode, sometimes he goes to his little den area, his little room and stuff like that, where he sits on this chair and he basically is talking to basically America and stuff like that, because he says America, so basically it's like he's recording his own self, giving tips and info to the audience as well, which I like a lot. And it's a pretty good dynamic because it's like he would come in after something crazy to happen. He's like, America, you gotta do this, guys. You gotta do this. I love you guys, but you gotta do this. And it was pretty cool to see all that stuff going on and stuff like that. He was arguably the best character. He made the show. Because if your main character has your own title in it and he's not making the show, I don't know what it is. But like I said, it was a good show. It was a good show. They had some key guests from the time. Like they had Matt Damon on one episode. They had Ice Cube on an episode. Like really, well, like mostly when basically when he talks in the chair to America, they would usually be right next to him and stuff like that. And I like all the guests they brought in because it really made the show like good. They had like Shaq in one episode, Charles Barkley, Anthony Anderson, who came in a few episodes to portray the aspect of being Brianna's dad and stuff like that. Basically that's all I gotta say about the show. So some of my favorite episodes really in the show was especially the pilot episode because the pilot's good. I like the one episode where they went to Chicago to mourn over Bernie's relative's death, and they even had a part 1 and a part 2. Part 2 was mainly about basically Vanessa being basically tricked by her mom to see her, but never got a chance to see her. Another one of my favorite episodes was when Jordan and Brianna were feuding over the fact that Jordan has a pet snake, and Brianna saw that Jordan was feeding these little mice to this snake, so basically Bernie lets Brianna have one of the mice, but Jordan gets upset about that, and he basically feeds that mice to the snake, and they go back at it and forth, and they compare it to like a rumble in the jungle, like two animals feuding with each other and stuff like that. And I like the one episode where it was in season 5 where basically Bernie, what you might say, he figures all the kids are doing stuff wrong, so he punishes them, and he thinks Vanessa's doing something wrong. and he's getting that sixth sense, like, oh, I know she's doing something wrong and doing something that she shouldn't be doing. And it's funny because all the other like Wanda was like, don't harass her, you're harassing her. And then when they find out, oh, or when Bernie finds out, oh yeah, like, I figured you'd have a pool party or something like that. So in the case of matters, I made sure to put like some like secret element that's only like seen to ultraviolet light, and basically he was daring Vanessa, like, so did you do it? And Vanessa's like, huh, why did you think I'd do it? And how could you tell? And he's like, well, I have the light. Let's see. And it's funny because basically she moved back and she was like, oh, you could tell she busted. And then it was funny. And one of the cool things about the show is by really season 5, you can see the growth of Bernie to season 5 and stuff like that. From season 1 to season 5, because when you see the development of his character throughout the show, you can tell, like I just said in that episode, he knows Vanessa's a troublemaker from time to time, and she tries to get away with stuff. Now, maybe in season 1, Bernie might not see that coming, but season 5 saw that one coming because he understands Vanessa's character and knows that she's a sneaky, deviant character that tries to get away with things behind her uncle's back, stuff like that. I also like the episode, which I also recently watched, that it dives into the elements of that. Maybe Bernie and Wanda should take in the kids and just, take the custody of the kids and basically make it where they're just the mom and the dad to them. And what is it? Basically, because Brianna was asking about their mom, they don't end up doing it because, they still have that love towards their mom, even though she's going through this rehab stuff like that. The final episode, I thought it was a decent series finale. The way it ended, it was a little open-ended. I would have personally ended the show where they have Vanessa going off to college and Bernie and the others are saying goodbye to her while she embarks on this new journey and stuff like that. And they could have probably ended it off right there instead of like Bernie was like, I trust her to do great things and stuff like that. And yeah, and in an element, that's what I say Blackish is doing now with Grownish in a way. It's a little, basically a little spin-off of basically Blackish, but I think Blackish did what the Bernie Mac show didn't do, and that's make like a possible spin-off show talking about the next possible main character. I would have loved to see a Vanessa main show, but it would have went into probably teen dramatics, which basically Grownish does. And I'll probably do reviews on Blackish and Grownish and stuff like that. And yeah, so
Did you feed Princess?
did I feed Princess?
Uh-huh.
I don't think so, I did.
So she didn't eat. She didn't eat, y'all. Nobody's fed her. Go downstairs and get your meat on.
Anyways, guys, sorry for that, but sorry for that interruption, but yeah, that's basically it for my review of the Bernie Mac show. It's a good show. I check it out if I were you. Give it a chance. It's one of those old time shows that you should give it a chance. So yeah, if you want to know, it still airs on TV. I forgot what channel it airs on, but I know if you want to find all the seasons and all the episodes, we just basically binge watch all the episodes if you feel like it. It's on Hulu. So if you have a Hulu account, easy find. Just go in the search bar, type in the Bernie Mac show, you'll find it. So anyways, that's it. So if you want to check out this show, or if you checked it out, or if you remember watching this show, leave a comment in the video to see so I can see what you guys thought about the show, and leave a like if you feel like it. Also hit that subscribe button if you feel like it, and stuff like that, because I do various other TV show reviews and movie reviews and stuff like that of things I'm really into and stuff like that. And this was one of the shows that I was into. So I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go feed my dog, like you guys just heard, and I'm probably gonna get back to watching Dragon Ball, which I was just watching. So till then, guys, it's Cam15, and this has been another video of me talking about in one of my favorite TV shows. So like I was saying, this is Cam15, and I'm signing out. You guys have a very good night.